It's there! Holy moly, this one's going to go big. Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're going to have some Fruit Machine emulation for this video with a little bit of unfortunate news because I cannot demonstrate the method on this machine to you because we don't have the correct ROMs for it, despite the great efforts of people over at Desert Island Fruit. So what have we got in front of us here? We have got the Barcrest game, It's Amazing. This was originally released on a £35 jackpot with your standard issue 25p, 50p play. And there wasn't, as far as I'm aware, there was nothing particularly remarkable about it. However, when it got the £70 upgrade, because Barcrest upgraded like the vast majority of their £35 Fruit Machine estate, got upgraded to 70 quid. Now, I've done this in a video before. It was a Barcrest £70 upgrade malfunction, something like that. I'll put something on the screen here in case you haven't watched that video and you want to have a look. But in essence, let's be honest about this. Barcrest fucked up, and they fucked up big time when they upgraded their machines to the £70 jackpot because they were doable 6 ways from Sunday, all kinds of shit going on with them. It was very good for players. A lot of people made out like bandits on the £70 upgrades, the Barcrest that were going around at the time. But let me be clear about this. I think that these were one of the final nails in the coffin of the AWP. In fact, one of those nails has got the word Barcrest written on top of it, because the state that you could leave their machines in. Covered this before with machines like Alien, for example, and the flickers. They were so doable. So whilst playing, they made a lot of money. It was one of the reasons, in my humble opinion, why the AWP finally basically died a death in the £70 era. It was because of shit like this. Now, I was really hoping I would be able to demonstrate how this machine was done for this video, because I do like, when I make videos like this where there was a method, I like to be able to demonstrate it to you, but unfortunately that's not going to be possible on this occasion. And the reason is that we just don't have working ROMs for it, and as I said, that is despite the best efforts of folks over at Desert Island Fruit. So let's just have a little look here. There's the release thread. So it was a Tommy C DX release. Now, I should just state for the record here that we have had classics for this for a little while by Matty N. He has done classics for this, and to my shame, I haven't even loaded them in. There are so many releases for FMEV 5, 6 and now 19 that I just haven't loaded in. However, the fact that we finally got a DX for it propelled me into loading it in, and it kind of flicked something in my head. You know what? There was something on this. I remember there was something on this. So I sent a message to a very good chap that I've known for a few years now, who was very good on giving me info in the £70 era, saying, hey fella, wasn't there something on this one? Can you remind me what it was, please? Because I never had one of these over here. I never saw a real one of these. And he got back to me and told me what it was. And there's basically a feature on this that you can take a jackpot out of before the machine really wants to give you a jackpot. So just for the record here, it was thanks to Matty N for his original classics. Tommy C here has made a DX of it. By his own admission, he had very poor source artwork to work from, but he's done a good job. He's turned out a decent DX from pretty poor source artwork. And going down the list here, we have a post from Spar here asking if these are the only £70 ROMs we have for this. These are the chipped ROMs. And got to give a shout out to this guy here, Niall Quinn. Niall Quinn got back on this thread, said, yeah, I've got a load of ROMs for this game. Don't know anything about Stake or Jackpot, but here you go. This is everything I've got. Have a crack with them. And he gave a link to an upload of all of the ROMs that he had. So thank you very much to Niall Quinn for that. And it gave me a flicker of hope that we would have some working £70 ROMs. Niall Quinn there, he's been around on Fruit Machine emulation kinda since day one. He was very much a day one. He was around on the MSN emulation community. He's been around ever since. And just a little shout out to Nalquin there. Thank you for making these ROMs available. And I did, like I said, I had a flicker of hope that we'd have some workers in here. So here are all the ROMs that he made available, all the ROMs that were in that file that he uploaded. That one there is what the layout was released with, a MAS 0.5y.bin. All of these ones that you can see here, they were all in the file that Niall Quinn made available, and I've gone through them all. And basically what it turns out is, those ones there, anything that's a 0.3 revision is a £35 jackpot. So they're of no interest to us. £35 jackpot, no good. You couldn't do it on a £35 jackpot. All of these here, the 0.5s, they are on a £70 jackpot. Now, my hope was, looking at this list here, I thought, oh, that fella there, 0.5.bin. That was obviously the first 0.5 release, and all of these here you'd say were iterations or rechips from that 0.5 base. So I loaded 0.5 in, thinking, oh, maybe that'll be a worker, but it wasn't. The bad news here, I'm afraid, is that all of these fuckers here are chipped. They're all chipped. None of them work. So I'm afraid, I cannot demonstrate to you the actual method on this. Not that I'd probably be able to anyway, because it is a pure skill feature. I've just noticed that I've got some of the Bandicam, so that's very unprofessional of me. I do apologise. Let's get fucking rid of that. Crappy Degsy. I'm recording this down on the laptop. I'm used to having my fucking 4K screen to work with on my main PC. There we go. That's better. So the bad news is, I'm going to tell you up front, the bad news is none of these are workers, so I cannot demonstrate it to you. But once again, thanks to Niall Quinn for at least giving me the hope that we would have some workers and uploading all the ROMs that he had for this. You can see the gap there. There's a very, very big gap. Where are all the 0.4s? If I had to have a guess at this, I'd say that all your 0.3s are definitely all £35 jackpot revisions. You can't switch them to 70 quid. The machine just kicks up a fuss and says invalid key and all that kind of crap. So they're no use to us. Even though they actually work, the method works, but you can't win on it. I'll explain why that is. And all of these here, 70 pounders that don't work, unfortunately. And what's missing there? It's 0.4 in the middle. So I'm kind of guessing, like I say, finger in the air, maybe 0.4 was the ROM revisions where this worked. They were maybe the first £70 ROM revisions. And from 0.5 onwards, it looks to me like they're all fixed, because none of these work. They're all chipped. So with that said, let's get into the machine itself. I can't show it to you. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I can't show it to you, but I will show you what you would have done on a worker. And it's basically very much like Alien and the Flickers. It does seem that an awful lot of Barcrest £70 output was all susceptible to kind of the same thing. And it's been suggested to me by a chap who was doing all of these that they just didn't change the code base enough. So stuff that in inverted commas that worked on the £35 jackpot versions also worked on the £70 jackpot upgrades. And Barcrest just didn't seem to take into account the fact that something that worked, so you could always get a jackpot. For example, there was stuff that you could do on the 35 pounders that would get you a jackpot within 40 quid. Fine, okay, you're still losing money there. But if that same method works, where you can get a jackpot within, £40-45 on a £70 machine, all of a sudden you're making bank. So let's just tell you exactly what it is. It's that feature there. Can you see it there? It's called Cash Climber. That feature there, when read, is a true skill jackpot, and the machine doesn't like to offer it. It's kind of like it knows that it's a jackpot. You've got to be able to hit the skill. So, I mean, let's be honest, there's a pretty good chance that I wouldn't be able to demonstrate it anyway, but I have seen videos, and I'll show you. There's a video on YouTube of this thing being done.
Oh! That nearly fucking jibbed, didn't it? My thumb hit it, it didn't stop. Oh well. Never miss. That's how you skill up.
Even old shit Degsy here half fancies his chances of being able to hit this thing. That there red cash climber, it had to be red, was a £70 jackpot if you could hit it. And the machine it sort of blocked it, but not enough. And the way that you do it, it was very similar to the Alien and Flicker methods. Now, there's 2 videos about Alien on my channel. I would recommend, if you haven't seen it, that you watch Alien, the Degector's Cut. There's also 2 videos about the flickers, so you can have a look at them as well. And fundamentally, these work on the same kind of principle, that you've got to put an amount of money through them or an amount of credits through them before it will unlock that red cash climber. Now, the original method, as explained to me, was that you would go in on 30p a go. So you'd just put a few quid on 30p a go and check that it's putting you on the board. It needs to be boarding, as with the Alien and the Flickers, they had to be boarding. If they were boarding, you then just whacked them up to a quid a go and put 40 quid through as quickly as you possibly could. Don't collect anything, don't do anything. You're just trying to burn through 40 quid as quick as you can. And then you play just for red cash climber. And after that 40 quid through, exactly the same as Alien, where 40 quid through on the Alien unlocks the bonus, and it can't kill you on the bonus if certain criteria are met, you can then, it will be not like every board, it won't drop it into your lap, but it will be prepared to give you a red cash climber. You can get your £70 jackpot off that if you can hit the skill. Then what you do, you get your jackpot, you drop your stake back down to 30p a go, you then just check it's still boarding, and if it's still boarding, you can go again. Exactly like Alien and the Flickers, so you put another 40 quid through, and then you can get a red cash climber. And the idea being that for each jackpot, you may be paying 45 quid for each £70 jackpot, and you could perhaps cycle that 2 or 3 times, and then the machine would die, because these were not free wins, and you'd know when it had had enough because you'd drop your stake back down to 30p and it wouldn't be boarding. So at that point, you walk away because you've taken all of the value out of the machine. And then apparently this was refined and people worked out that you could do them the same as you did the Flickers. Now, if you remember on the Flickers, it was £32 through on 25p a go, which was 128 credits. So you did 128 credits on 25p a go, and that then got the machine ready. You ramped it up to £1 a go, and then you could be guaranteed your £35 box. Again, if you're not familiar with that, do watch those Flicker videos. There's 2 of them on the channel where it's all explained if you don't know what that is. And then on 30p a go, it's not actually that great, because on 30p a go, you've got to put, because it's all down to the credits. You've got to do 128 credits. It's not the amount of money. So on 25p a go, that's great, because that only costs you 32 quid. But if the minimum stake is 30p and not 25p, you're talking like £38.60 to get your 128 credits through. So you're not really saving much off the 40 quid at that point, but apparently this would unlock the red cash climber off 128 credits. You didn't have to do the straight £40 through, so it got a little bit refined. Once the Flickers turned up and this 128 credit thing became known, people tried it on these, and apparently that was sufficient, and 128 credits would unlock your cash climber, so you would maybe get the jackpots cheaper, certainly if you had a 25p minimum stake. I'm kind of doing this all from what I've been told. I've got to be honest with you, I've never had one of these over here. I've never played a real one. I'm playing it for the first time in the emulator, so I'm just describing what I believe the method on this was. It wasn't an empty, but you could do it 2, 3, I guess on a really good day, 4 times, cycle it round, you're making maybe 25 quid per jackpot. So if it's got 3 in it, you've maybe made 25 quid. The bad news is, however, as I said, all of these ROMs are chipped. All of these 0.5 ROMs are chipped. Let's just go back to the folder there. They're all chipped. I've been through them all. I started with that one there because 0.5 suggests it would be earlier. And then you go 5D, 5DK, or 5K after that, 5DK, 5 5Y and then 5DY. They're all the same. That's the one that the layout was released with. Obviously, there are differences. Maybe there are arcade ROMs and pub ROMs and that sort of thing, but they're all chipped. That's the thing. They all do the same thing, and I'll tell you up front. Well, no, I won't tell you up front. I'll demonstrate to you what the chipped one does, because that's what we're stuck with, I'm afraid. We're stuck with the chipped one, so I'm going to put it up to £1 a go, just because it doesn't really matter insofar as it's not going to let me do it anyway. So on £1 a go. So the idea is here, by the way, that you can get the features upgraded. When you get a trail hold, oh shit, I've got my fingers slightly wrong on the keyboard here. You can get a trail hold on the way up, and if you get a trail held, can you see there? If you get a trail held, it turns things. There we are. I've got my cash climb, it's red now. I'm not sure if this was actually the correct way of doing it, but certainly on £1 a go, if you get a trail held on the way in, it gives you a. There we are. It gives you. Oh shit! There we are. Sorry, I've just turned the volume down a little bit so my headset doesn't pick it up. You can see I was listening to trance on Spotify. Oh, I'm just going to give a little bit of a pause here because it's got great music, this machine. And have a swig of beer as well, if I'm honest with you. So what we can do now is we could gamble lower than that. It might give me a true skill dapple, which it has. So we can stop that maybe on 2 features. Well, there we are, 2 feature shots. It might just hit cash. If I'm lucky, it might just hit cash climber. It hasn't. So obviously we've got our deal or no deal game open. There's nothing going on the deal or no deal game with this, by the way. There's nothing you can do with that. Although my maze feature is guaranteed to be more than 20 quid, so that's looking quite good. But we're not interested in that. This was not the way you did it. It's quite happy, by the way, because I've been finding out the hard way that it's not a doable ROM, so we can lock ourselves into that zone there. Get a super shot. So we're really just looking for the red cash climber any way that we want. You don't want to get too ambitious, by the way, on the high-low gambles, because it will have you on the high-low gambles, even on relatively good numbers. Oh, there we are. The zone has opened. It's not a bad machine to play this. In all fairness, this is not a bad machine to play. Mega hint. Press hold 1 to lock in yellow zone. Yeah, we'll do that. So this, in essence, what I'm doing here is I'm not going to risk a gamble on that, by the way. This is kind of what you would do anyway. We're just going around the board. A little bit like the flickers. Not doing anything too stupid, because it will kill you if you try something really stupid. But there we are. Good chance here, maybe. No, I'm not going to gamble on an 8, because it'll fucking have me. We're out of the zone again. Oh, that's got to be it. There we are. Now I've got red. Oh, right, watch if hopefully I can hit this. I'll be honest with you if I miss it. I'm doing this on the laptop downstairs, so I'm not so familiar with the keyboard here. I think even fucking Degsy can hit that. Hey, well done, Degsy. It does get faster. You can't slow it down with cancel. There we are. Okay. There we are. Oh, fucking... That is so embarrassing. I actually fucking missed that. I'll bring you back. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'll bring you back when I've got another shot at it. I won't edit it out. I will be honest with you. I actually missed that. I will not edit that out. The video will remain honest. Right, it shot it again. I can't possibly do any worse than that. That was crap. Well, get that one. Well done, Degsy. Okay, come on. Is this the one I missed last time? Okay, now watch what happens here. It slipped. You see there? That definitely slipped. I completely 100% certain actually hit that, and this is what will happen. It will not let you take it out to a jackpot. So we'll repeat that again, because the machine's pretty happy, but it doesn't matter how happy it gets, it will not let you hit a jackpot off this. Okay, we'll have another crack at it. Here we go. Just to see it. Definitely. It's Jackpot happy, by the way. I have turned down a Jackpot shot to take this feature. And it jumped. It definitely, I fucking definitely hit that. I know I'm fucking shit at skills. I definitely hit that. It always jumps at either 10 quid or 20 quid. It doesn't matter how happy it is. It will not let you get that £70 shot. It seems to me that Barcrest just blocked it. They just blocked they did a real crude block. They just said, no, you know what? That feature will cheat. It will slip. And that was a Jackpot board. That was a board where I actually turned down. You can see how fucking happy it is. It's off its tits and it will not let me get a Jackpot off that feature. I'll have one more go at it. And then what I'll do, I think, is let's just kill it off. It's throwing money at me here, but it won't let me get a fucking... It won't let me get a Jackpot off that feature. And I tried this before, by the way, early in the day. I had several shots of this. And the way that you can tell, incidentally, the way that you can tell if these things are chipped or not is what the collect button does when you collect the bank. So let's just kill this board off. Well, I do like, you know, as a machine, I like this. Even just from this DX here, I can get this would be a really good looking machine in real life. I like the sound of music on it as well. The way you can tell if they're chipped or not is when you collect the bank. So I'm going to collect the bank here. If it's chipped, the collect light keeps flashing while you collect the bank. If it's unchipped, the light goes out. So watch the cancel collect button there and watch how it flashes all the way through collecting the bank. See there, it just doesn't stop flashing. That means it's chipped. Okay, we've got it again. Let's have a go. Let's just see it skip one more time, assuming I can fucking hit it. Nice and easy to start with. And that skipped. That definitely skipped. I fucking hit that. And it jumped. It jumped at 20 quid. It either jumps at a tenner or it jumps at 20 quid. I know I'm shit at skill, but I'm not that shit. I can fucking hit that. We know it's chipped. We can tell by the fact that the cancel collect button is still flashing on the way out. We know it's chipped. So in essence, that was what Barcrest did. To make this undoable, as it were, on the rechips, what they did is they just made Cash Climber cheat. Oh, it slips, basically. It doesn't say it's a true skill feature, in all fairness. So what Cash Climber does there is it just skips. So on the doable one, it was your flicker alien style method, whether you want to go 40 quid through or 128 credits through. Doesn't really matter. Either way, that was what you did. There was a certain number of credits or a certain amount of money that you put through it, and you could get a jackpot for 45-ish quid in. You'd get your jackpot, and then if it was still boarding, you could go round again. On the rechip here, you can't do it because that feature then becomes, it will not give you the jackpot at all. In fact, even when it's jackpot ready, it won't give you the feature. And then the net result of that is that the machine, it's still, you know, not saying it, the machine doesn't keep, it's probably, in fact, let's be honest, it probably made it a much better machine for the casual punter. Not that there are any fucking casual punters left by this point in time, but it made it a better machine for whatever casual punters or people who didn't know how to do it. It probably made it a much better machine for them, but I would say that the damage was done at that point and there was nobody fucking left playing fruit machines who wasn't either a player or an addict, because the casual punter had long since gone. So what I'm going to do now, we can see that there. Unfortunately, we don't have any other ROMs, but if somebody out there, if we can get the unchipped ROMs, I think it's going to be 0.4 something. If we can get unchipped ROMs for this, I will definitely do another video on this and see if I can actually hit that £70 skill. What I'm going to do here for this video, by the way, is I'm going to take this out to a Jackpot repeater. It's got a really good Jackpot sequence. I quite like this machine. That's the thing. Even though I can't demonstrate the skill on this and the actual method, I actually like this as a machine. This is not a bad machine. And I would guess, because Barcrest, you can see here, it's absolutely off its fucking tits. But you can see there that the skill was still just cheating me. It was still slipping. It was probably not a bad machine to play, because Barcrest of this time were they were very flat profile. They didn't stray too far away from percentage. It was only because they were also bloody doable that they had kind of got this terrible reputation for being doable in all kinds of ways, and that was what kind of killed them off, really. So it's just boarding every single credit, isn't it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to get to a board where I can get a red. Not that the Jackpot ever, look at this, fucking every fucking time. Nothing's going red though, because it's boosting me up. I'm sure, by the way, I'm not even remotely suggesting that I'm playing this correctly. I'm sure there were all kinds of shenanigans that you could do, clever stuff that you could do to get the things, the Cash Climber red. And by the way, one good way of doing it, there are upgrades. You can get upgrades when you're on the board. There are ways to upgrade the squares when you're on the board, and gambling up this, but then it just wants to kill me on a bloody win like that. So there are ways. You don't have to go in with Cash Climber being red. There are ways to turn things red when you're on the board. I'm just doing this for the sake of brevity in the video. But what I'll do now is pause this, and I'll bring you back when we've got a red £70 jackpot, so a jackpot repeater basically. Right, there we are. That is a red jackpot shot. Let's take that and we'll enjoy the jackpot sequence on this machine. So let's collect that. It's a very nice jackpot sequence. I do like that jackpot sequence. No repeat. I bet you £1 million, even though this is fucking way under percentage, it won't repeat. Never, ever, ever repeats. I think this was a 0% repeat chance, to be honest with you. So there's our £70 bank. We'll collect that out. So I think that's about all I can really do. You can see there that the collect and cancel button keeps flashing. So I'm afraid I can't demonstrate this to you. I've done my best. I've loaded through all of those different ROMs, all the 0.3, which turn out to be £35 jackpots, all the 0.5s, which turn out to be £70 jackpots. I can't help but think that it was the 0.4 ROMs that were the doable ones. But do not write this machine off. It's not a bad machine to play. It's got a nice sample pack. It looks quite good. Get it on a big screen in a dark room. It looks really good. So as ever, let's just do the thanks. We'll say thank you very much to Tommy C for doing a great job. And you know what? I'm very rude. I haven't given him a like yet. That's why I'm not actually signed in yet on this laptop. So we'll certainly give Tommy C a like. There we are. Oh, sorry, let's even press the right button. So we'll give Tommy C a like. And to Niall Quinn there as well. Thank you to Niall, giving us the best chance with these ROMs. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But like I said, he just gave me hope for a little while that there would be some workers in there. I can't help but think that it's the 0.4s that we're missing. So there you go. At least you understand how it works. And if you know these machines anyway, then I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. If you weren't doing these, if you weren't aware of what was going on, like I say, you can familiarise yourself with how these Barcrest £70 upgrades worked by watching the Alien videos. I would just recommend the final one, to be honest, the Director's Cut, and both of the Flickr videos. And it has been suggested to me by a player of the time that the fundamental problem with a lot of these Barcrests was that there was a lot of stuff that was left over from the £35 jackpot ROMs that just carried over. So this thing there where you could get the jackpot on this, so you could get the red Cash Climber, you could cycle that round on the £35 ROMs every 40 quid, but of course you're not winning anything there. But when you upgrade to a £70 jackpot, all of a sudden you're making some money out of it. So there you go. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate it for you. If unchipped ROMs do turn up, if we get those ROMs, I'll definitely have a crack at this and embarrass myself trying to do the skill. But for now, that will have to be it for this one. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will catch up with you next time. But for now, it is goodbye.